Welcome to another edition of What Barrie's Talking About from Barrie 360. I'm Dan Blakely. On this week's program, electric buses have come to Barrie, two anyway. The city giving them a test drive with an eye to converting the entire fleet. The test runs have been happening for a couple of weeks now. We find out how it's going. Big new dog park at Innisfil Beach Park, part of the upgrades being done there. A great spot for dogs to run and play, but some dog owners are not playing nice. We get caught up on dog park etiquette. Dirt in the Skirt is back for another year, a charity ball tournament for women in support of Hospice Simcoe and a tribute to the movie A League of Their Own, and some big doings for the Barrie Fire Service, another hot summer night hands-on event, and a fire academy class for teens to get a taste of what being a firefighter is all about in the field and behind the scenes. We get the conversation started after this. What Barrie's Talking About from Barrie 360. I'm Dan Blakely. Do you ride the bus in Barrie? Have you been on one of the new electric buses? Part of a pilot project as the city moves toward meeting its zero-emission goals. Barrie 360's Ian Maclennan caught up with the transit fleet manager, Evan Chen, to see how things are rolling.
Well, Evan, City of Barrie is currently in a pilot program with battery electric buses. The city purchased two, is that correct?
That is correct. We did purchase two.
And when were they purchased, and what was the cost involved to obtain them?
So they were actually purchased a little bit over a year ago, and each of these buses cost about $1.5 million. And of course, we did get funding from the Housing Infrastructure and Communities Canada, called the Zero Emission Transit Fund, for about $1.65 million to kind of help us out in terms of this project and purchasing of these buses. And of course, the overall project cost is about $3.35. So the remaining was funded by the city. And like I mentioned, this helps us purchase the two buses for $1.5 million each, but also allowed us to purchase and install chargers at our garage, in addition to PPEs, tools, and training for our service partners, staff, and emergency services.
Now, when were the buses put on the road?
Yeah, they were put on the road shortly after Canada Day, and the idea is that we'll actually be rotating the electric bus through all of our fixed routes in the coming weeks and months. So keep an eye out for our electric bus next time you use our transit services to get around the city.
And what sort of, key performance indicators will you be looking for, the city be looking for during this 12-month pilot?
Yeah, so during this 12-month pilot, our KPIs, or key performance indicators, we'll be looking at are things like range, energy consumption, energy efficiency in terms of kilowatt hours per kilometer. But we're also going to be looking at dollars per kilometer for electric bus versus a conventional bus. But as the pilot program advances, we'll be constantly evaluating these KPIs and revising or adding to them as needed so that we could accurately capture the electric bus's performance. So at the end of the day, the KPIs will give us a good idea if the electric bus is a good fit for the city.
And when you say a good fit for the city, have you looked at other communities that are similar to Barrie in terms of maybe the road network or the weather conditions, specifically cold climate cities? I'm just curious if you use that data too.
Barrie Transit is actually part of a couple of different industry groups, specifically the ones like Ontario Public Transit Association, OPTA, and the Canadian Urban Transit Research and Innovation Consortium, QTRIC. Sorry, that's a mouthful, but it's QTRIC. And these groups have transit agencies from across Canada as their members. And particularly in Ontario, you got York Region Transit, TTC, Brampton, Kingston, and Grand River Transit as members. And all these agencies, I should say, have electric buses as part of their fleet and in service the last few years. So as part of these groups, they were able to share their data and experiences with battery electric buses through these conventions and things like that. And there's definitely data sharing among the agencies. And as you alluded to, there are certainly different challenges that they've encountered in the winter. Especially with these early adopters, what they noticed was that there was an effect on the range and efficiency of these electric buses. And of course, this is due to the cold, and the systems need to maintain battery temperature and to run the heaters to ensure passenger comfort, which all contribute to the increased energy demand. But what we noticed recently is that as more agencies started getting these electric buses, what they've noticed is with the advance in technology, better understanding how the operator behavior affect the electric bus range, they were able to mitigate some of these challenges. And even more recently, it was found that there wasn't really that big of a difference between summer and winter, especially in Ontario. And this is because in the summer we have high temperature and humidity, which means we'll need to use the AC a bit more. And then vice versa, in the winter we'll need to run the heater a bit more due to the cold. So in the big scheme of things, what the agencies are really finding out is that there really isn't that big of a difference between operating the summer and the winter. Now, what is unique to the challenges of Barrie is that not only do we have to contend with these weather conditions, of these Ontario weather conditions, but we also have quite a few hills. So this pilot program will give us a unique insight into the electric bus performance based on the city's own specific operating conditions.
Barrie has hills. Who knew it, right?
Yeah.
and in terms of obviously climate, the environment, what other benefits might an electric bus provide to the conventional ones? What is it?
Yeah, so in addition to that, just other than the environmental factors, they're also more quiet. So that definitely helps in terms of noise pollution that we probably encounter throughout the city. And that's the number one thing that some of these agencies have mentioned with their riders is just how quiet and smooth the ride is. And it's something that they didn't think that was that big of a deal, but it turned out to be a nice bonus to have.
Once the pilot project is done, what happens from there?
From there, we'll be coming back to council with a more fulsome report of data and KPIs, just to see if it actually is a good fit for the city and if it's something that we want to continue down the path of electrifying our transit fleet.
Based on what you've read from other municipalities, I know you can't speak on behalf of the city, but is this the way of the future?
Certainly, some agencies have found that, yes, that is the way of the future, but they've also encountered certain challenges, specifically about infrastructure and the capital costs needed to upgrade the infrastructure within the transit garages. So those are challenges that we are definitely in discussion as part of these industry groups, and the groups are looking to overcome, and of course, best practices and things like that. And it is something people are moving towards, but I think it's more of one of those cautiously moving forward and trying to make sure that we maintain our services.
Mark the date down, August 2nd, an event you won't want to miss if you're a fan of the movie A League of Their Own. It's the second annual Dirt in the Skirt tournament, raising money for Hospice Simcoe. Our Ian Maclennan getting the pep talk from organizer Jenny Hasty and Hospice Executive Director Kelly Hubbard.
So at the Barrie Sports Complex on August the 2nd, Dirt in the Skirt 2025. What's that all about?
Yeah, so last year I was sitting around watching A League of Their Own, everybody's favorite baseball movie, and decided it would be really fun to put out a call and see if anybody would be interested in playing. And within 24 hours, we had 12 teams sign up, all ladies. We got custom uniforms made, and it was just such a big hit that we decided we're going to keep doing it over and over again. So this year we've got 24 teams, and we're going to be working with Hospice alongside. We have so much support from them, and I'm sure Kelly can speak a little bit more about Hospice and the work that they do.
And Hospice Simcoe does great work in the community and beyond Barrie area. Tell us a bit about the mandate of Hospice Simcoe, how many beds and
Sure. Yeah. So Hospice Simcoe Season Center, we're here to journey along with people that are dying with life-threatening illness and those that are impacted by death. So any type of bereavement support as well, from children to older individuals in our community. We provide end-of-life care in a 10-bed residential care facility, and we have pre-death support groups, and we also have bereavement groups after the fact and when somebody dies.
And when we say every dollar counts, that's the case of all charities, but especially Hospice Simcoe. You don't get any government support or very little?
We do get government support for the residential beds. It doesn't quite cover the nursing cost there, but we do get government support for the residential beds. But for the other programs, no. For our bereavement programs.
Community-driven.
It's all community-driven and donations, about $1.5 million a year.
And how many beds do you have?
10.
And
10.
What's your catchment area? Specific Barrie area?
It's mostly Barrie, but anybody that comes from anywhere. So if the family is here in Barrie or it lives in this area, then they could come. For example, we've had a woman come from Ottawa. All of her children were here, but she lived in Ottawa and she was dying and she needed to be close to her family, so we brought her here. So that's just one example. So
now you've got 300 plus ladies and 24 teams. Where are they all coming from?
Yes, so a lot of local ladies teams, but we do have a few out-of-town teams coming, and Next year, we're actually going to be expanding because we do have quite a wait list. It's a pretty exclusive tournament that a lot of ladies teams want to be a part of. So we'll be doing a tournament in Barrie and Niagara, Hamilton area for 2026. So we can open it up for a lot more.
So it's growing to other communities,
Yes.
other regions of the province.
Yes. And hopefully to more cities in Ontario and across Canada eventually.
Now, obviously, it's going to be a fun afternoon for competitors and the public, but is the goal to win too?
Yes. We have a competitive division and a recreation division. So there will be 24 teams battling it out for the win for those divisions. We have raffles, 50-50. We have merchandise for sale. We'll have a VIP section. We've got cold plunges coming. Just so much fun stuff. Competitions for the ladies. There will be a home run derby and a pitching competition. We have a sliding queen award. So lots of ladies are going to be sliding and trying to make those plays and winning that award. Vendors, we've got DJs, photo booths, and just so much stuff.
And you've got Dottie's Hotties?
Oh, yes.
Explain.
The Dottie's Hotties. So we have 8 men who will be wearing skirts and playing an exhibition game against 12 all-star ladies from all different teams at Dirt in the Skirt. They'll be playing shorthanded as well as batting opposite than what they usually do. And it's just a really fun time, fun game to watch.
And it's a full day, 8 a.m. until 8 p.m.
Yes.
In terms of the public coming out for the day or for part of it, is there a cost, and does it all roll back to Hospice Simcoe?
No, there's no cost
Okay.
to come and spectate. Of course, they can buy VIP tickets if they want a bit of an elevated experience. And then, of course, the raffle, the 50-50, the merchandise, everything does go back to support hospice.
And giving back to Hospice Simcoe, I mean, obviously you receive donations. How critical are events like this? I mean, we've talked about the fundraising, but...
Third-party events are really key in so many levels. But for one, of course, it raises money. But for two, it just raises awareness and people have an understanding or might ask questions. Oh, what is your hospice about? What services are there? So it's a raising awareness, and it's just that building that compassionate community, and, just so that everybody is contributing to a charity of some sort is very, very helpful.
And you said you have volunteered at Hospice Simcoe too, have you?
Yeah, since last year.
And what has that experience been like just for you to be technically on a front line?
It's hard to describe. It's such a beautiful, magical place. I've done some of the residential client care, and it's I can't describe it. It's such beautiful work. Being with the people and the nurses and the staff and the other volunteers, it's just like a little family.
So what team are you going to be playing on, and what are some of the names of the teams?
So I'm on the Minneapolis Millerettes. So there are 12 original teams from the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League. The Rockford Peaches, everybody knows, the Racing Bells, the South Bend Blue Sox, who actually won last year. So we've got 12 of the original teams, and then this year we've added 12 new Canadian-themed cities and uniforms. We did a little competition. We asked people to think of some really cool names, and we've got like the Alliston Angels, the Innisfil Ivories, the Huntsville Honeys, and many, many more. Okay. All different color uniforms and hats and belts, and it's going to be really colorful out on all of the fields.
Sounds cliche, but at the end of the day, it's Hospice Simcoe that picks up the prize, right?
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
The date again, August 2nd, at the Barrie Sports Complex in Midhurst. This is what Barrie's talking about from Barrie 360. I'm Dan Blakely, joined by Chris Trevisan, Operations Manager, Parks and Community Spaces for the town of Innisfil. Thanks for joining us, Chris.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
You were here 3-4 weeks ago talking about the changes that are being made at Innisfil Beach Park, and I know they're progressing well because I'm a regular visitor there, particularly to the dog park. And that's what I want to talk to you about today, because I think when you were here last time, you were in the throes of getting the temporary dog park put together during the construction period.
Yes, that's correct. We had the previous one that was located all over towards that more northern part, and now through discussion, and I know the community kind of said their voice and really kind of pushed for the new location that we currently have it in today. So now that that's fully operational, we're starting to see kind of that use pick up, which has been fantastic.
It's great because it's so large, lots of room for the dogs to run around, a couple of accesses to the water. It's really a wonderful space.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm glad that we could put it together kind of in that short time frame that we had. So now we're able to enjoy the summer with it, so it's great.
That being said, I thought we should maybe talk about park etiquette because there have been some things that I've observed, and I know other people have observed, and that are contrary to the signage that is there. People maybe taking advantage of the park for their own purposes and forgetting that it's actually there for the dogs. One of the things that happened 2 or 3 weeks ago, there was a group of guys there who had strung a line from one tree to another across one of the beach access areas. They had a dog with them. They had coolers and other things there. They were nowhere to be found. They were out on the water on jet skis, and the dog was running around all by itself. And I don't think that's part of the way it's supposed to work.
Yeah. Unfortunately, there is always going to be those tendencies where we see those kind of misuse happens. I mean, it's great to have, people feel like they can, be a part of the space and utilize it as they need. But like you said, it's kind of that park etiquette that we expect for those kind of dog areas and really for any of our amenities, right? Like each amenity has its own intended purpose for it. So there is those kind of rules and regulations that you'll see right when you come into that dog beach that we obviously want those users to reference to just so that they're aware for themselves what to expect. But in the event that they were to come across maybe different activity that they're not doing and don't want to be seeing, that we kind of refer to those, and then we look to obviously enforce that through our bylaw team.
And how often is the bylaw team wandering through there?
That's a great question. Typically on the daily, they're actively patrolling, obviously for those major infractions that surround towards maybe more so the parking and the parks bylaw specific, which obviously this dog beach does fall into. But when we come into like those high times and kind of peak times that we see during the weekend specifically, there is bylaw officers stationed within that park and are kind of actively on foot patrolling the whole means of that park space.
And have you had any trouble with people who may have been bucking the rules and have been asked to leave but put up a fight?
So far, to my knowledge, anyways, we haven't had that in this particular space. I know, like you kind of alluded to, we have been aware of some issues and instances that have happened, but ultimately we have seen that people have been really receptive to it, essentially. But again, obviously we expect more to kind of occur. So there is a few more pieces of puzzle. I'm not sure if you've seen in the previous dog beach, but we did have like a surveillance camera there that kind of is like that last kind of fall arrest. If there is any instances that we can always allude kind of back to that camera surveillance in the event that we require it, more so from that bylaw perspective. So determining location for it in the new space to really capture it, but ultimately I think that's going to really help in the event that we do require it.
There was another instance a couple of weeks ago where a family had taken over one of the picnic benches that was near one of the beach access areas, and 4 or 5 pizza boxes stacked up on it. They had a little half kind of shelter pitched there for I don't know what reason, and they were totally aghast that other dogs were coming sniffing around.
Right. Yeah, and again, it's one of those things that's not really the intended use for that specific amenity. I mean, appreciating it's certainly a park, but a part of the thing that we're exercising is that we do have that current signage there, but there may just be a few more tweaks that need to be added if we're seeing kind of more issues like this persist, that we're just ensuring that we're capturing it for the communication, right, to all the users that are looking to utilize the space. Yeah.
The sign is there, and it's very, very apparent, but not everybody reads it, or they read half of it. I know one of the other things on there, I think, is not to leave your dog in between the 2 gates at the entrance. And yesterday, there was a very large breed dog that was parked in there while its owner was in talking with other people within the park.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, just like you alluded to, because, they're looking to be, I think, per that signage, is that they need to be leashed within that space. But again, if users are seeing that and it's kind of against those rules and regulations, that there is that customer service number that is on that sign, and that customer service then can kind of reach out to that bylaw team to help assist and enforce in the event that we're not seeing that kind of corrective action happen from that owner. So.
All right. Well, that's good to know. Again, people sometimes see the sign or they forget what's on the sign, or, again, some don't care. I think for the most part, though, the experience there, I know for my family and my dog, has been awesome. The chance to run around and frolic with some other dogs and, get some of their energy out is just awesome. And the size of the park is perfect for that.
Yeah, I'm really, really glad to hear that. I'm glad we were able to make that kind of space kind of work to utilize in that waterfront and have that mixed use. I think is really, really great. And as you're kind of referring to that signage, like you said, there's kind of a laundry list of items on there for sure. And obviously more sometimes is hindering, but ensuring that we're kind of capturing that liability for the users as well as ourselves is really key in having that. So, but again, yeah, super happy that we're having some really good kind of response to that location.
Now, this is just a temporary location, I understand, while you get the rest of the beach area up to where you want it, and then you're moving it again, or are you going to keep it there?
Well, the intention is it is kind of piloted, but it's definitely kind of installed with like that permanent infrastructure, more so with that fencing on it. So we're going to be monitoring the location and kind of instances towards, kind of what we've been seeing, and we can make that kind of final determination as we go forward. But the intent is to keep it where it is for now, and again, check and adjust as we go if needed.
And in general, how are things going down at the beach with all of the other changes you're making?
In general, it's been really, really good, actually. For the current phase that we're in phase one of that Innisfil Beach Park master plan, that it's off to a really great start. People have been really receptive to the construction and kind of respecting the boundaries in which that have been kind of put out. It is a very, very busy area with our requirements that are needed for the construction site, but I'm glad to see the community has been really well receptive and really respecting kind of our fenced off areas, which has been great.
Chris, thanks for the time today. Appreciate the candid talk about dog park etiquette, and hopefully things will be just peachy keen and groovy moving forward.
Absolutely. No, I really appreciate the time and appreciate the conversation.
This is What Barrie's Talking About from Barrie 360. I'm Dan Blakely. Pleased to have back in the studio Kate Foster, the public educator with the Barrie Fire Service. Welcome back.
Thank you, Dan. Happy to be here.
Good to see you. It's been a while.
Yes, it has.
So we've got some catching up to do, but before we do any of that, if we get to that, can we have a couple of other more important things to talk about, like July 31st, for instance. Yes. Hot Summer Night is back.
That's right. It's back, and I know the community's been looking forward to seeing when it would come back. So we are officially set for July 31st, Thursday evening from 6 to 8 at Sunnydale Park. And this event is a wonderful opportunity to come out and engage with the members of our fire service. We also bring out a truck. We, connect our hoses, spray some water, and the kiddos usually have a great time running around. And everything is free for families. So we have a lot of different partner organizations joining us as well.
This is a hands-on thing, too. It's a participatory thing, as I recall, because I went the first or second year when it was every couple of weeks with my grandkids. And they were dropping and rolling and doing all kinds of squirting me with water. They were having a great time.
Yeah, that's right. We definitely try to reinforce some of our safety messaging through those fun, engaging activities. So we have mini combat course where our kiddos can go through and learn those concepts, like you said, stop, drop, and roll, get low and go, what to do when there's an emergency in your house, and have a fun time. We even have the ability for them to, like you had said, squirt some water at a target and really just sort of see what it's like to be a firefighter.
This is great, though, for the kids in particular, because they eat it all up and then they take it home and they're reminding mom and dad about all these fire safety things as they go.
Yeah, that's right. They really are our greatest ambassadors when it comes to our fire safety messaging. I always say when they go home, they become almost junior fire chiefs themselves, and they check their smoke alarms and they show the adults in their house what to do. And so this is a great opportunity where we get to thank them as well with putting on this really fun event and sort of show them all the rewards for their hard work.
As much fun as it is for the kids, I'm sure it's probably an eye-opener for a few adults as well, moms and dads, who find out a few things they weren't aware of.
That's
for instance?
Right. For instance, we do, even our activities, everything is with a fire safety message in mind. So we have, a passport activity where you walk around and you get to see different fire safety messages or find different fire safety messages, like the importance of testing your smoke alarms every month or practicing that home escape plan so that when, your smoke alarm does sound, you can get out as quickly as possible. So everything at this event, every station is infused with our fire safety messages so that we can remember how important it is to be safe in our spaces.
All right, so that's July 31st, Sunnydale Park. What time does it start?
6 p.m. and it goes until 8 p.m. And like I said before, too, everything is free, so you don't have to worry about too much. You just come out and enjoy your time with us.
And don't worry if it's a really hot and humid day, because there is this wonderful opportunity to get sprayed.
That's
Not
right.
just at that one little thing that I mentioned. There's the big fire truck comes out and sprays everybody all at once.
That's correct. Yeah. So it is exactly what we've been advertising. It's a great way to cool off and then also learn your fire safety messages.
That's July 31st. Then coming up in the fall, you have something brand new happening. It's called Ignite. It's a Barrie Fire Academy, but it's for teens.
That's right. Yeah, we have our Ignite Barrie Fire Academy. This is its pilot year, and so it's for 15 to 18-year-olds. This year, we're starting with our group being female, those who identify as female or non-binary, and we're hoping that we'll get so much interest in the program. It's, again, another free initiative that we'll be able to open it up in future years to other demographics. And it's a really great opportunity to sort of peek behind the curtain of what it's like to work in the fire service.
All right. Is it a one-night affair, or is it a weekly thing for a few weeks?
It's actually a 3-day, so it's during daytime hours event. It'll be September 19th, 20th, and 21st. And we end on the 21st with a really wonderful graduation ceremony where our families can come and see all the hard work that the participants put in during their 3 days. Because it's a lot. We're asking a lot of them. But it is such a great opportunity to, try on the bunker gear, see what it's like to be a firefighter, but also what is it like to be a dispatcher? What is it like to work as a prevention officer? We try to see and immerse the participants in all different aspects of the fire service.
You're not worried about losing your job to one of these kids?
I mean, the thought has crossed my mind from time to time because, man, the things that come out and the people who we get to see and engage with are spectacular. So, but I'd be happy to see them come through and do so well and one day replace me. Not in the immediate future, but one day they can replace me.
Maybe 10 or 20
sure.
years.
That sounds
like that.
good, yeah.
So something somewhat similar, I guess, to a tour somebody might take of the fire station, but on a much grander basis.
Yes, that's right, because they get to, of course, meet the firefighters, meet the different staff who work in the different divisions and branches, but they also get to actually experience what it would be like to be a first responder, what it would be like to answer a medical call, or to actually take apart a car if you need to get in and extricate someone from, a vehicle because of a collision. So they get to actually see and experience firsthand what it would be like to work in the fire service, so that maybe as their future career planning, they'll have a clear idea of what they would like to do. And even if it's that maybe this isn't the path for them, well, they know now. They've tried it firsthand.
And this is great, as I was saying before, because a lot of people, I guess they have the impression that a firefighter, okay, we get a call, we go hook up some hoses, we spray some water, we put the fire out, then we wrap up the hoses, go back, clean up, maybe have something to eat and have a nap.
Right.
It's a lot more than that. There's a lot more to it.
There is. And a lot of what happens working in the fire service is that when you're not actually doing the task of, let's say, putting out a fire, you're training, you're, refreshing your skills, you're making sure that you're always ready for a plethora of different situations that can come up. So I like to say that if you're going to work in the fire service, you're going to be in school for the rest of your life. We even have classrooms built into our stations because we're always learning and growing and developing and honing our skills. So this is another example that reinforces that.
Is this all happening at the main fire hall?
It's actually a mixture. So a couple of days will be at our Fire Station 1 headquarters on Dunlop Street. And then we'll have one day out at our training grounds where they can do live simulations, and we'll have live fire, and they'll even get to see what it's like to investigate fires after they happen. So that is the day that is going to be pretty hands-on and intensive.
I'm thinking that this is probably limited in numbers.
Yes, we have a certain amount of spaces available. However, that being said, because it's our pilot year, we want everyone to apply. So if there's an interest and you're not quite sure, or maybe you're just turning the age, or maybe you're just aging out, still put your application in. You can find the links. Everything is posted to our social media accounts. So at Barrie Fire or Barrie Fire and Emergency Service, Facebook, Instagram, and X. And the application is all digital there. It's very, very quick, but we want to see as many applications as we can so that we can grow and expand the program.
All right, let's talk about the name Ignite for a minute.
Sure.
Because it sounds almost counterproductive to what you're doing.
It does.
But there's some definite meaning there.
There is, yeah. We're talking more, we talk about ignition in the fire service. And what this is we're talking about trying to ignite the fire within, or the passion for service within your community and helping your community. So Ignite Barrie Fire Academy, the name was definitely brainstormed and discussed at length. And we decided that we wanted to take ownership of that Ignite word and that ignition word and focus it on the passion that comes with working in emergency services, especially in the fire service.
Thank you so much for the passion you show toward the service and the job of firefighting and fire education. It's always a pleasure talking to you, and good luck with this new Ignite Fire Academy.
Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure coming in.
And lots of fun on the 31st on the hot summer night.
That's right. We will be there, so we hope to see as many people from the community as well.
And that's our program for this week. Thanks to Ian for his input, to Logan Miller for his technical touch, and to you for listening. If you like what you've heard, please subscribe to What Barrie's Talking About, rate it, review it. You can also keep up with What Barrie's Talking About on Blue Sky and X at Barrie360, on our website, Barrie360.com, and there's our daily Kickstart podcasts available from any streaming service and on our website. I'm Dan Blakely. Hope you'll join us again next week.